First day back, done. Time is it? 4:15. Just sorted loads of content, loads of different areas. I'm actually going to be doing a video now talking about the 5 pillars that's going to separate businesses in 2026 without question. So important. I can't begin to express just how important this is. Like, the AI side is absolutely monumentally important, and it is so beneficial. But there's also going to be a massive thing that comes in with the market adjustment and trust and loads of elements that you need to be looking at. And there's also a lot of bullshit out there in the market which people are doing, advice that they've been given, which is just not beneficial for the business in any way, shape or form. And I've also officially put the notice in for moving out the office. So if you are watching this YouTube and you want a load of desk equipment and you're a startup business, then I'll give it to you for free. Or if you know anyone who wants it, because I just need to get rid of it basically. If not, it'll be going on Facebook Marketplace. Oh, that's probably better, actually, having a light on. Told you, raw video logs. So yeah, back to the 5 things that will separate businesses in 2026. Right? I cannot begin to express how important this is. So when we're coming into this AI era now, there's going to be loads of beneficial stuff, but there's also going to be loads of negative parts as well, right? One, for the fact that people are just going to use AI completely and utterly wrong, but then also from a sense of the actual effect that that's going to have on the market with how content and everything will adjust. So there's 5 pillars, got them on the screen just to remind me. Number 1 is personal brand depth and documentation. Number 2, AI adoption, focusing on diagnostics and processing power. Number 3, full funnel paid ads, which I'll talk about in depth in a minute. Number 4 is a ecosystem nurturing and accuracy. So not just looking at top of funnel, cold traffic and surface level shit all the time. And then number 5 is a legacy offer. So coming in at number 1, we've got personal brand depth and documentation. So the reason that this is going to be a key strategy in 2026 is because I think there's a statistic where it's like upwards of 40% of content online by the end of 2026 will be AI generated images, AI generated videos, or AI generated scripts and captions. So you've got the people using ChatGPT for captions and you can see it from a mile off, but you've also got all of these fake videos, right? I get it all the time. So I'm watching a video and I'm like, oh my God, what's happening here? And then I realize like 30 seconds in, I'm like, oh my God, it's just fucking AI. So that feeling of people just going, oh, is this even real? Eventually, and in not too long, and people are doing it now, but it's not good enough yet, people will be doing their head talking videos and everything with AI. Like, literally, content is you're not gonna know the difference between what is real and what isn't in the not so distant future, because AI is gonna be processing so much on there. So what you've got to do and what you've got to take into account at this point is, right, how can I actually differentiate and how can I use this as an opportunity? If there is so much distrust in the market on social media, right, with AI and AI generated stuff, and people don't know what's real, what is real? You. So depth and documentation to your personal brand is so important. And the way that I normally do this with clients, I'm actually going to be releasing both a guide on this and I'm also doing a live training on this at the end of the month. So if you watch this video, follow me on Instagram, because I'll be giving out an asset to go through all this and I'll be doing a live training on it exactly. But when you're looking at personal brand and documentation, what you've got to think about first is your visual identity. So what I do with clients in this type of situation is I'll basically just turn around and go, right, what are the 10 things that shape your visual identity? So for me, it's well, I'm even wearing it now. I'm actually just wearing all my walking fleeces to work now rather than a hoodie. But I've got like walking, hiking, mountain climbing, boxing. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a friend, I'm a team leader, I'm a 7-figure business owner. I'm also off a council estate. I've got ADHD and I've got ASD and loads of other stuff. Right, and people know this about me. So people say to me, oh, like, but what have you done? And it's like, I've built a multi-million pound company on 12,000 followers or 15,000 followers. I don't even know how many followers I've got now. And I used to think that my personal brand was my weakness. Genuinely, I was like, I've not got as many followers as everyone else. I've got a shit personal brand. I've got this, I've got that. Whereas in hindsight now, like, look, yeah, I won't be doing these videos if I didn't want to get more subscribers. I won't post on Instagram if I didn't want to get more followers. But I actually look back and think, fuck, well, I must actually have a pretty strong personal brand to have done what I've done in business on such little followers. And I think that this is often overlooked, that people are constantly looking at virality and what's trending, but they're not getting any trust with their actual audience. And in 2026, this is going to be unavoidable. I swear to God, it's going to be unavoidable. Like with the AI stuff, if you do not focus on building depth to your personal brand and visual identity to who you are, then you are going to get lost in the market of bullshit. The other things that I look at with personal brand documentation is messaging. So I look at two sides to this. So I've got core messaging and anti-messaging, because they work in opposing factors but do the same thing. So your core messaging, I normally split this between core message about people, core message about the world, core message about the industry that you're in. So what are your top beliefs and what is the shit that you stand behind no matter what, and you are die hard, you're going to take that shit to the grave, right? But on the other side, what is your anti-message? What is the shit that you stand against with people, the world, and also your industry and your sector? Because what we've got when it comes to personal brand is you've got this fence, right? And you've got the green side and you've got the red side. So let's say we've got red grass here and green grass there. It makes no fucking difference in any way, shape or form if you're on the green grass or the red grass, right? Because there's going to be some people out there who want to eat green grass. There's going to be some people out there who want to eat red grass, right? What people aren't going to be able to decide on is the person who's sat in the middle on the fence. Right? So it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. It doesn't have to be right or wrong. It's about you just standing for something and standing with something. And that's going to shape your identity and shape your message alongside your offer and your niche and your pain and all that. But also just like what you believe in and your opinions is going to be so, so important because of all this AI dribble and bullshit that's out there online. So number two from that point is actually adopting to AI, but in the right way, right? Because if you use AI wrong, that is going to be completely and utterly so detrimental to you and your business. I can't even begin to explain. If you think that AI is going to think for you, it's just going to do everything for you, you're not going to have to put any work in, you can just use ChatGPT alone, and you think that's all going to be great, then you need to realize that there's a completely different world to AI. So I've actually done this on this guide, but like for me, I've done loads of videos on Claude. So my list would be, priority, it'd be Claude number one without question, OpenAI number two, 11 Labs, I love 11 Labs, I love Poppy AI, I love Fixer AI, I love Fathom AI, I love Prosper AI. I've actually got it somewhere on computer, but there's all these different AI systems which do different jobs and do different tools. But the most important thing that you've got to think about when using AI is understanding how to actually use it. It's more than just a prompt, right? So you have input one, which is the prompt, input two, which is the knowledge base, input three, which is the instruction. The output that you get is going to be the combination of all those three things combined. And then from that point, you've still got to go through iterations. But start on the basics. Look at some of my previous videos on Claude, for example. Like Claude, once that's set up, you might not even need to touch anything for a while until you start getting into hyper-specific stuff. So like we automate outbound LinkedIn connections, or you want to start going into YouTube and hacking some people's videos with Poppy AI. Or a big one for me is like if you're not currently using Fathom and you have clients and you do sales calls, like you're mental. Get Fathom, because it'll, one, give all your meeting follow-ups for not only prospects and clients, but all those transcripts that you've got in those videos are an absolute straight up gold mine. I cannot even process how much a gold mine transcripts are with Claude and AI in general, because you can process that and pull so many ideas through, but you also train the AI systems on your exact voice as well. Number three is the full funnel paid ads. So the big thing in 2024 and 2025 is the ability for people to easily run ads themselves. So you can do it on your mobile, like you probably know. Don't do it on your mobile, because if you do it on your mobile, then you have to pay the Apple 30% fees. I think it's Apple. Yeah, it must be, because it's on an app. If you do it from desktop on Instagram, then you're not going to have 30% fees added on top from adults. So if you are going to boost posts, always do it from your desktop, right? But the main thing I'm getting across here is so easy. Anyone can boost a post now. Anybody. But the advice that people have been given is to stack, like I've just done a reel on it a minute ago, stack 25 to 30% of your revenue into top of funnel cold audiences. Is it going to get followers in? Yeah. Sweet. Are you going to get some sales through that? Yeah. But if you are just running cold audience constantly and you're running your acquisition and growth off a 3 to 5% response rate in DMs from a cold audience, that is not sustainable. That is not got any form of longevity, and it's also not fun in any way, shape or form either. So what you've got to take into account and what you look at is different parts to your funnel. So the number three for me is full funnel structure to ads. So that's top of funnel, which is the top of funnel boost, cold audiences, new people, click-throughs. But you also have pixel retargeting on that. So that allows you to then look at retargeting those people who are interacting with a middle of funnel, which you might be looking at an asset or a live workshop or something where they have to input their data. Once they get their data in, you've got the number. So rather than just doing an Instagram DM, you can potentially do the outreach on WhatsApp, which is as if you're watching these videos, you probably might have got one from Ben before. We do all our outreach on WhatsApp now, but you've also got the email to send them down email nurturing, add them into weekly emails. You can retarget podcasts at people, YouTube episodes, and understand that people don't just buy on one impression. Just because someone's seen a top of funnel creative and gone, oh, I like this person, follow, just because they get a DM from you straight away, like, that doesn't mean that they're going to buy. Like, would you? I'll ask you, would you? I wouldn't. If I follow someone and the first thing I get is an automated DM, I swear to God I unfollow them straight away. I like to digest someone's content. I like to potentially opt into someone on email. I like to look at the stories for a bit. I like to figure them out. I like to get nurtured and read their emails before I make a decision. And that's the case for most people out there. But the mentorships and stuff there, it's just like, oh, what's the fastest way to get cash in? But it's also the fastest way to burn cash and burn your reputation as well. So full funnel paid ad structure is so important. And we're actually bringing in a bolt on this year where we've got paid ad managers, which is only a £500 ad management fee per month in the type of communication management structure that I think is viable for that. Whereas I've paid upwards of I've paid upwards of £7,000 a month for paid ad support before, all the way down to 2,000 to 1,500 to £1,000. And as I said to the people who I've brought come in, you come in and it's £500. It means that my clients and people I know can spend more money on ads, because that's how you get better at ads. You spend more money and your pixel learns more and Meta learns more, and over time you can obviously just start to develop some really hyper specific stuff. Number 4 from that point is stuff that I've already kind of touched on, and that's an ecosystem and nurturing pathways available. So content is easy for someone to digest, but are they getting that much buy-in? So for me, it's the volume of impressions that you can generate over time, which is so important. So if you've got an email database of 5,000 people, 1,000 people, or 500 people, I always look at volume of emails based on volume of emails. If you've got 300 emails, I might send 1 to 2 emails a week, right? If you've got 500 to 1,000, I might look at 3 emails per week. If you've got over 1,000 emails and you're looking at an over 30% response rate, I'm a massive fan of daily emails, because at the end of the day, like, you give people daily content, it's the same thing, and most people, as long as you're sending good emails, what they enjoy reading, they're going to keep opening it. And the more that people are opening these emails, the more impressions that they're going to get, the more that you can nurture them into a point of buying interest. You've also got starting a podcast, you've got starting a YouTube channel, starting long-form workshops, you've got community events, client events. There's so much shit that you can also do in this ecosystem where you can invite people in, or they opt in, and you nurture them over time. And 9 times out of 10, that's where people purchase us from. They're not purchasing from just the top of funnel ad DM. They're purchasing because they've actually digested your shit for a sustained period of time, basically. And then final one is a legacy offer. It will, without question, be the thing that stands out in 2026. The people who are doing this for legacy and they actually care are the people who are going to stand out by a mile. The rationale for that is anybody can now deliver easy information. Information is now available at people's fingertips in seconds. For everybody out there, every business owner, every prospect, business to business, B2C, everything. Information is no longer valuable because you can get it literally in seconds like that. So what you've got to really think about from that point is the legacy element to your business. And I call it a legacy because it's just a name that I call it, where people actually give a fuck about their offer and care about what they're doing and care about what they're delivering. But it's going to come down to what makes you different to other people in your space, down to onboarding, your check-in process, your accountability, your milestones, your community events, the culture that you've got inside, the assets, resources, and everything that you give to these people to solve a problem at high level. Like, it's going to be so important in 2026. And the beauty of it is, but it comes down to you actually giving a fuck enough to want to do that in the first place. Because a lot of people don't, because it's easy to just spend fun money on top of funnel and bang a load of DMs out and complain that they're not scaling the business down the line. Whereas if you put a lot of time and effort into your offer and you focus on innovation and you focus on evolving what you are doing, like, you can't go wrong. Like, I also did a post earlier where I was like, I've turned over well over $1 million for 4 years now on 50. I need to look. Have I got 15k followers or have I got 12? I don't even know. Let me just check that because I keep tripping myself up. I've got 15k followers. So on 50, but I had 10. So 10 to 15k followers. I've only got, I think, like 15,000 emails. And I don't spend more than £6,000 a month on ads, but I've got a £1 million turnover business for years now. I'm comfortably doing that. The reason that I've done that is because I've always innovated and I've always evolved. Like, and I know that I'm not as good on, I know these videos aren't as good as half the other stuff that you watch elsewhere, and I'm absolutely fine with that because I'd rather just enjoy what I'm filming and how I'm filming. But it's so important to understand that how you innovate and how you evolve your product will stand out in a market, because at the end of the day, everybody is doing the same shit, talking about the same is the same. So the 5 things for me that you need to focus on in 2026 is personal brand, depth and documentation, AI adoption with diagnostics and processing power, full funnel paid ads for data mining and pixel retargeting rather than just cold audience spam, ecosystem nurturing accuracy, so emails, YouTubes, follow-up processes, nurturing pathways, podcasts, you name it. And then number 5 is to focus on actually building a legacy offer. And then the next video, I think I'm going to do it on becoming a dad and running a high performance business, because I was going to do it yesterday when I was out in Peak District with Remy, but she had a snowsuit on and she lost her shit, so I had to abort that video because she was losing her head, and I had to put her in my jacket. So imagine a 2-year-old inside my jacket and wrap the jacket around her and zip it up, and I like carried her for like 5 kilometers in hills like that, which was very cute, and I enjoyed it, to be fair, because I don't really get a cuddle, but she didn't really have a choice. Either that or she was going to freeze. But yeah, the next video I'm going to do is going to be on becoming a father and what I've learned about becoming a dad in the last 2 years, but also maintaining and growing, running a high performance business, guys. So I hope you're enjoying the video logs. Like I said, I've got a target to do 104 this year, so 2 per week, and I'm just going to stick with it. See you on the next one.